Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in today. I'm here today with a really special guest. Her name is Claudia, and she is the creator of the Body Story Method. And so we'll be talking about this method in an upcoming podcast episode in September, but we thought we'd give you a little treat and actually show you what a body story reading looks like. So just so you all know, because you can't see it at the moment, later on, we'll be putting a picture in. I actually sent Claudia a picture of my feet, but we didn't want to scare you guys. So we're going to blend in a picture for you, and she'll be talking about that just so you can get an idea of what this reading would actually look like if you worked with Claudia, and the kinds of things that she can tell just by looking at feet and bodies and how you move. So welcome, Claudia. Thank you so much for doing this. And take it away. Let our viewers and listeners know what we'll be doing here today.
Oh, thank you, Petra. It's so good to be here. And I'm really excited about sharing this, because every time I tell someone their body story, they're just like, what? How do you know this? So the body story method has been a while in the making. I've been working with bodies and minds for so long now that I'm actually teaching people how to read the body in this way. And you can see what's happening physically, energetically, and emotionally for someone just by the way that their feet are placed and by the way their body is placed. So you don't have to just see the feet. It's a moment in time that I teach you when to look at these things, and you can then know, like, what's holding someone back. If they're leaning away from feeling, are they stuck in the past? You can see this all by how someone is just presenting themselves, because our emotions sometimes get stuck in the body. And this is something that we'll be talking about in the future podcast too. But yeah, so today I'm going to be talking about what's happening physically, emotionally, energetically. And this is all just purely what the body is telling us. So that's amazing. What I'm going to do.
I'm a little nervous, so I hope everything is good. But I think it's nice that we're taking viewers through this live so they can actually get an idea of what this would look like if they work with you, or they take training from you, or they work with us with their own clients. I think is this curiosity element that viewers really want to know, like, what habits, what can you tell just by looking at me? So I am looking forward to it, and let's see what you find.
Fantastic. All right. So with the feet that you've sent to me, I'm going to be linking that to parts of what I see and how you sit as well. So currently I've got the photo in front of me, and so the right foot is slightly further back compared to the left. And when you're standing, you can see a slight difference in the size of the legs. So the right side is a little bit more, a little bit larger, a bit more muscular compared to the left side. And what I would be looking at is like the lymphatic drainage on that side. What's going on over there? The big toe doesn't have as much pressure on the right side compared to the left side. So physically, what I'd be looking at is getting some more inner thigh connection, because with this, physically, chances are the outside of the right ankle can feel a little bit tight, which then starts to work on the right side of the lower back and possibly the hip or even the knee. And when you're sitting, what I also see is that the connection with the shoulders, the left side is slightly lower compared to the right. So there in the body, we've got this interconnected parts that there is an X-sling. So the right hip links to the left shoulder. So physically, these are things that I'm going to be working on, is strengthening the right side, getting that a little bit more more in balance compared to the left. And same with the left shoulder, start to re-strengthen that. But then on the right shoulder, I'm going to be working more on mobility work there. There is a little bit more attention on the front of the right shoulder. So we want to get the back side of the right shoulder more connected too. So yeah, that's a little bit about the physical. Does this resonate with you at all?
It does. And I'll give our viewers a little bit of context because a few years ago, I broke my left foot, and I actually broke it in between the big toe and the toe beside it, sort of right in between the two of them. And so since then, I can tell that I don't walk the same anymore. On my left side, I actually peel up my big toe off the floor all the time when I walk. I don't know why, but it doesn't even touch the ground anymore. And I really have to force myself to put the toe down because I keep rolling it to the outside of the foot. And so that causes, of course, the right side to have to compensate, probably why you're seeing that it's a little bit more muscular, because it has to compensate for me flopping around on that left side because it's not sticking to the ground properly. So that makes a lot of sense to me. And when we're just talking about the physical aspect of it, because the 2 feet actually feel very different now. Sometimes I can't even tell, and this, I don't know if this happens to any of our viewers or your clients, I sometimes can't tell where my left foot is. It'll bang into things. It'll hit like the stairs or the table leg or something. And it's very strange. It's like my body can't tell where that foot is in time and space. It's just kind of there, but I don't know where it is. So very interesting.
And with the body story method, I train practitioners to reset the nervous system, because when we injure ourselves, or like with any trauma to the mind or the body, there's numbness. There's this protection around the nerves that starts to form. And we just stop feeling that part of us. And it's like the body just goes, oh, okay, that part's not working. Let's go to what is working. And so that's something that needs a lot more resetting. And if you just do like normal exercises, it'll work. But we need to actually look at the nervous system and how your body's responding, because the fact that the spatial awareness is just lacking a little bit, it's looking, it's seeking. And that's where we start to look at the emotional and the energetic side. So if you were coming into my session, either a coaching or a movement session, I would be looking at how you walked in. And chances are that left side, because it's seeking, I wonder how it goes when you're walking. And if sometimes with people that are seeking how they feel about a particular thing in their lives, the left side it sometimes can circle out. It sometimes can like bang against things. So energetically, you're searching for how you feel about something in your life. And that's part of when you actually broke your foot. It's a lot of times it's not a coincidence with which side we break. Sometimes it's the side that we have used so much. And so many people think it's the side that just hasn't ever worked, but it's the side that's worked so hard and always has the attention on it like a naughty child. And it's the one that's actually just overworked, screaming for help. And then eventually it just like breaks and it's had enough. And so now, that's why it's on holiday and it's sort of left the building. But it's still there. Like there is no normal. There is no perfect. We're striving for balance. We're striving for something that's going to help you to perform better in your life and feel great. So when it comes to like the right foot being slightly further back, it's like in some contexts, like that's the past. There's something that's knocked your confidence, that's happened in the past, that you need to see how you feel about that and actually work on like honoring where you're at now because of what happened in the past, so that you can start to feel a little bit more confident with the lessons that you've learned. So that's something that's like the body is showing me. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, there's many, many things, right, that have happened in I would even say the past 5 years that have been very difficult to deal with. And I'm still trying to place them into my life and where the pieces fit, where I fit. And, interestingly enough, when I broke my foot was just after COVID started with all the lockdowns. And I was really anxious even when I broke my foot because it meant having to go to the hospital and that only one person could go in and you had to wear a mask and you didn't really know what would happen. And so even the whole story surrounding breaking the foot was this whole drama all in itself because it was so uncertain and so unknown of what would happen to me in this hospital. And so from that also came a lot of stress, the fact that it didn't heal after, and I ended up in a wheelchair for 6 months. So there was a lot of things that were connected to this foot thing that rippled sort of out into my life and really changed how I could work. I couldn't do yoga for a long time because it was just so awkward with the movements until I finally got that spatial awareness back and I could use the foot again. So a lot of things, even through this experience, changed how I approached teaching, how I approached my own life, my relationships with my loved ones, because during this time, my husband had to do everything. I couldn't go up or down the stairs very well. I couldn't carry things because I had the crutches. And so there was a lot of that reliance on other people. I'm a very independent person. And so that reliance all of a sudden on other people. So the whole experience around that actually still is with me in many ways and affects me and has me questioning decisions I make daily or how I move forward, because I am also grateful that I got my mobility back to a certain degree. And I did come out of the wheelchair because that was really scary. And so, there's a lot of things attached to that I think are still probably in the body and are still in how I feel and act. So it's really interesting that you're picking those up. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes, a lot of the times, all it takes is hearing what the body's saying. And the nervous system goes, oh, yeah, I remember that part of me. And then it starts the ball rolling a little bit, because like with your right side, it's like it's stuck. And it's the only thing that's grounding you, because the left side is just not sure anymore. And we need to try and with the body, when you use it physically, it can impact your emotions too. So stepping forward first with your right side, because it's the one that's further back, we want to start to lead with confidence. The confidence is on the right side. It's the decision-making side. It's more yang. And just allowing yourself to have that drive and showing the left side where to go. It would really be a great little practice for you. And when you are, for example, brushing your teeth, just start to balance on your left foot and just see, like, where is the earth with my left foot? And start to climb stairs more, like really emphasize where the left foot is. Walking around the house, stamping your feet can also work really well. But stamping evenly and just really, there's another thing, like with the left foot, that links to the right eye and the right ear, the right jaw. And if, like, in practicing these physical elements, you can start to look and start to use your right eye a little bit more. Start to think, well, what do I see more with the right eye? Really start to zone in on what you can see and what can you hear out through the right ear. this is going to start to work on the left side of your body and start to impact that so much. And there's another thing that I noticed, that it's like the right foot is slightly outside the frame of the body compared to the left. The left may not feel like it's really connected, but it's like the right side is trying to step aside so that the left can actually get some airtime in your body. So getting the right inner thigh more connected, and the left outer thigh, left glutes, and finding safety in the left side. So when you do go to yoga, really focusing, like, I know that you have to start on a particular side because that's how they instruct the whole class. But it would be ideal if you started with working on your left foot. Have your left foot in front when it comes to this balance work and working on the yoga side of things.
That's super interesting. It's one of the exercises that my physical therapist actually gave me, was to balance on the left foot and close my eyes and not hang on to anything. And the amounts of times I fell over, it wasn't even funny. I still can barely do it. I usually have to grab like the table or a chair or something, but it's as soon as I close my eyes, I don't know why I fall over. Only on the left, on the right, it's no problem. So super interesting what happens there.
Yes, and it'll happen. We can teach our body to do so many things, and it just takes practice. You just need to find your feet and get them to work as a team. And the best way to do that is with your eyes closed, because otherwise your eyes are doing the balance for you. So getting your eyes closed, start to look around. There's nothing that you can fall over, and just like give your body that chance to find its way without your vision, without your hands. You will find your feet. You will find your grounding. You will find the foundation that you've been looking for if you do this practice. So there's also, like with the big toes, both big toes are trying to find the earth. So I like pressing down more on the big toes, but also doing like heel raises without the ankles bending out, heel raises with eyes closed. And meditation will also be helping that with the third eye. And starting to work on the third eye chakra will help with the big toes and where they're being placed. So yeah, there's so many things you can do and play with. A little bit more mobility work on the right ankle so that you can get the lymphatic drainage to start to work a little bit more compared to the left side. And there may be like particular exercises where the right side doesn't necessarily dominate things. Is there? Where do you find that happens, where the left dominates sometimes?
When I do the step up, have like a little step, and I'm supposed to step on it with one foot first, then the other foot, and then back down. So those were some of the exercises I was doing for my foot. I tend to take the first step with my left foot. And if I don't pay attention, it will always be the left foot that steps up first. So I had to really train myself to give the 2 feet a turn when it comes to the step up. So, but initially and innately, my left foot just goes for it, and it's always first up on the step. So that definitely dominates there. Or when I walk up the stairs too, actually, the left foot just tends to get on that stair first.
Yeah. So that's where it does lead you to a point, but we do need to give the right side that chance, because the front of the right leg needs a little bit more connection, as well as so the right hip flexor might be really connected. And physically, we'd be looking at getting the right obliques and the deeper abdominals, especially when you're going into like a tabletop with the right leg, helping you to get up, like lift with the belly instead of the hip flexor. And, mindset coaching session, like when you're working with a person with foot positioning like this, helping them with words that bring up more confidence. How can they lead more with confidence in their lives? And how can they allow the past to teach them these lessons? So breaking down the things that have occurred and what good has come out of them. And how do they feel about these things? What will help them to feel more confident to move forward? What needs to be there for them to move forward? And this little steps, little by little, you can layer these things into coaching sessions too. And when they're outside of the coaching session, having people to use their body in this way, to start to step up a step, put the right foot first. That's going to work on the energetic side and the emotional side too.
I love that. I can't believe how much you can tell just by looking at feet. So yeah, how enlightening. And for me to learn some of these things that in the back of my mind, I know these things because I'm experiencing them, but to put them in words and to actually say, here's what you can do with that. That to me is the magic of this reading, as well as is to take some of these things that I have found in my body, maybe going right or wrong in the last few years, and actually putting them into context and then saying, here, these are some of the things you can do. Here's some of the things on how you can work with this. And this, I think, is also the magic for our viewers, is to take their body, this loving body that they have, and even if they're experiencing issues or they're feeling unsafe or they have injuries, how can we work with that? How can you recognize that? How can you implement that? How can you integrate that in your life? How can you take your experiences, like you said, think about how you feel about them, make them work going forward? What have you learned? Take some of those positive things with you. So that to me is part of what you're offering. And the body story method is not just saying, well, you broke your foot, so now you have trouble walking, but how does this affect my life, my business? How does that affect me? And how can I move forward with that? Because that's the part that no one ever tells you.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. My cat's just
oh, welcome.
Yeah, I will.
Hello. Oh,
yeah, that's the beauty of, like, it's not just modifying and going, oh yeah, you've got this ailment. It's something that you can work with. It's empowering people. Instead of numbing them with pain meds, we're able to help them to move forward in life and use their body in a whole different way to relieve their pain, emotionally or physically. So yeah.
Absolutely. It goes beyond just having an injury, right? Like you said, I mean, it affects us on an emotional level, a mental level. So I like the idea of not just having, okay, well, now you got to do leg raises because we have to fix this muscle, whatever. Because physical therapy actually became very monotonous, but it didn't do anything for how it affected my mind, how I felt these limitations in my emotional and mental body. It helped me build muscles and reset the way that I walk or balance and stuff like that. But it didn't really address the other layers of who I am. And so this, to me, the body story method actually dives into all of the pieces that we are, all of the layers that we are, not just the physical part, but how does this trickle into our energetic body, our mental body, even our spirit body, because that's affected when we become injured, depressed, sad, maybe fearful or anxious when things like that happen. So I love the idea of being able to address all of these things in a holistic way. So Yeah, it's wish I would have met you many years ago when this happened. So, yeah. And is it too late sometimes for people to fix things, or is there always a time when they come and they can heal and they can work with the body story method? Or are there some, like with my foot, when you look at it, you're like, okay, it's too late now, or can I still do things?
Oh, it's never too late. The body has got such wisdom in it, and it knows exactly what it needs to do. We just need to give it the right environment. And when you give it the right tools, the right exercises, anything's possible. It doesn't necessarily mean we'll heal 100%, but sometimes it means that you can be better than before. Not always. There may be some scar tissue that is really difficult to get rid of, but the improvement is there. The balance in the body and the emotions is there. The fear is no longer there when there's an injury. And like I had a client, I think we spoke about her before, but she had an injury and her hamstring was torn. Like, she totally injured her hamstring. And within a couple sessions, she was much better. She walked out of her first session much better because we worked on what the body needed. We worked with body story, and within one session, she could already walk, not limp out of the class. And within 5 sessions, she was on her way. But I wanted the muscle memory to get stronger and stronger, so I had her come for a few more sessions, because the body sometimes has muscle memory, or always does, and we want to reset that. We want to reset these patterns, and it doesn't just take once. It takes some momentum to build. And no, it's never too late. We can always feel better because we've all got muscles. We've all got memory of how the body was working. So it's totally possible to be able to feel better.
Amazing. Yeah. So for any of you out there watching this, if you have some challenges, you have mobility challenges, maybe had injuries, or you have mental, emotional challenges going on, you can connect with Claudia and work on a reading. And as you just saw, the amazing amount of things that she picks up on just on a foot picture. So imagine if she gets a look at your entire body as you're walking, the things that she can pick out. So yeah, that would be absolutely amazing. And thank you for sharing your insights and your method with us today. I'm really excited also for the episode to come out, so that viewers can learn a little bit more about what we talked about. And is there anything else that you'd like to leave our viewers with?
I would love to offer this free body story reading to everybody out there. It's a 45 minutes chance of just having a chat and looking at what's happening for you. If you're an instructor, Pilates or yoga teacher, or a mindset coach, and you want to learn more about this method, I am offering the 3-hour pre-recorded training for free right now. And you just need to reach out to me. We'll put a code below so that you can get the full discount and get your training. And then we can discuss what it looks like to work together. The 4-day training is a certification where you can learn exactly how to do what I do. So yeah,
Amazing.
I'd like to help you all.
Yeah, and the 3-hour training was great. I had a look through that as well, and I learned so much. So I highly recommend that you take Claudia up on her offer and check that out. Thanks for tuning in today. We'll put all the relevant information in the captions or comments or show notes, whatever is applicable where you're watching this video. And thanks for joining us today. And I hope that you connect with Claudia and the body story method. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Petra.